What's going on, Thunder fans? We are back for another week of Thunder Things. I am Zach.
I am Craig.
There he is. And we are the Thunder guys. Come on. I got you. Thank you, sir. Need the old caffeine. All right. We got our beverages. We got our intro music flowing in the background.
We're ready.
We are seated. We are primed and
It's
ready to
go
go. The Thunder have not looked very ready for the season, but you and I are, and we've got a lot that we'd like to talk about. So, whether you are tuning in onto Facebook Live, whether you are listening in on Crossover Radio, Radio with a Purpose, we're glad you're here. We are glad to be here, and feel free to hit us up on the old social media at the Thunder Guys. Feel free to drop some comments down in the Facebook feed.
Our social media is popping.
Man, I feel like just regularly we're dropping some funny bombs. And
we're funny guys.
I don't know. Did you see my my tweet from earlier, perchance?
No, I did not.
I said something along the lines of the Thunder and the Lakers. Excuse me. The Thunder and the Lakers are the only teams in the entire Western Conference without a win.
It's crazy.
So that's
because those are two teams who are definitely picked to make the playoffs and be, top 4 or 5 seed.
Top playoffs, yes.
So it's funny. It won't last.
What? The being picked part, or
no, the being at the bottom of the league.
Cool.
The Thunder legit have the worst record in the NBA right now, which is
we're tied though, right? We're not the worst. We have to be tied with some people. I can't. I feel like we can't be the only.
Cleveland,
ones.
Okay. Cleveland's 0-3.
Oh gosh.
That's
they
it.
lost to the Hawks.
That's it. It's us. It's Oklahoma City and Cleveland.
Methinks that's not good. What do you think?
I mean, I'd say if we're looking for a moral victory, that losing to Sacramento is better than losing to Atlanta.
Well, I was gonna say, if we're gonna talk about a loss, the only good loss, as far as like a good loss can possibly go, would be the loss in Oakland to Golden State. I felt like so. Besides that, though, we have not looked good.
Not at all.
So let's. I'm doing some things here.
I can tell some distracting
I'm
things.
Super distracted, man.
It's okay.
I'm trying to get our stuff shared on social media, and life is not easy. Trying to do that and do the whole talking thing at the same time. But we need to get into talking about some Thunder stuff since we are the Thunder guys. Specifically, let's talk about these first 3 games. First 0-3 start in Oklahoma City Thunder basketball franchise. I can't throw any more.
I'll say how many more are you going for?
History. In history, in the 11th season now, the Thunder, even in that awful inaugural season, where we fired the coach after like 15 or 20 games, never gone 0-3. Yet here we are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm frustrated. Man. I know you. Okay, first off, just for all of our listeners, just so they know, we went to the game last night, and honestly, how often have I been that frustrated at Thunder basketball? Probably a lot. Okay, we'll be fair. But I was pretty frustrated. I was
trying to stay positive. You were not in a good place.
I was pouting, and your boy came and just asked, "Are the Thunder tanking?" That's the only explanation. Yeah, we want that good draft pick. Do we even have a first round pick next year? I don't even know. But I think if we do, it's probably protected.
2020.
It's probably protected if we've got one next year. But it's been ugly. It's not been good. And, I mean, we can go back to season opening night against Golden State, which, honestly, I felt pretty good about as far as, playing without Russell Westbrook goes. Paul George struggled early, and he came on. He came alive in the third quarter. He led the Thunder with 27 points. Dennis Schroeder was okay. Didn't shoot super well. He has not shot super well, which is really concerning at this point. really all through preseason. But he still had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. The defense overall looked pretty solid with 12 steals total against the Warriors. The Warriors looked like they struggled. I mean, they only shot 27% from 3-point. I thought the defense looked good. You hold the back-to-back NBA champions who have had like the best offense in NBA history, it seems like. Hold them to 108 points. You got to be feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah, you're right about the whole thing with it being, it wasn't a terrible loss without Russell Westbrook, but to me, the big stat is Klay Thompson going 5 of 20. That's not going to happen every single time you play the Warriors. If he hits even 3 or 4 more of those shots, this game is a lot different than it ended up being. But like you said, there were some good things you saw from Paul George coming alive late. Adams was reliable, shooting 50%. With Schroeder, it's almost like he's trying to do too much. And in this game specifically, it makes sense that he was in the starting role, filling in for Russ, and this is a big game. But against Sacramento last night, that didn't make much sense.
No, I mean,
Well, I'll
let you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he's just doing too much in my opinion. He needs to kind of let the game flow naturally for him, and see where the pieces fall. I did notice he's taking that elbow jumper a lot, and I wonder if that's from playing with Russ because that's Russ's shot.
That's
so.
his go-to, 90%, man.
Yeah, 90%.
90%.
But sometimes you gotta just be a point guard, and I feel like as he settles in, that we'll start to see that a little bit. He's trying to show off. Last night was his first game in Oklahoma City, so we may see a more tame Schroeder in the future, but.
I will say, looking at the loss to the Clippers was not good at all. First off, going into the game, the Clippers were favored, which I thought was strange. They looked decent. I mean, and then they beat, was it Houston last night? Yeah, they beat Houston last night, which the Rockets are dealing with some suspensions because of some attitude problems with the fighting,
which I think is awesome
in Los Angeles. You think the fighting's awesome?
I'm glad that there were actually punches thrown in an NBA fight. Like, let's be honest.
Well, let me ask you this. We're getting a little off track here, but how do you feel about the level of suspensions? Consider this. Consider the fact that Carmelo Anthony got into a fight 9-ish years ago, however long ago it was, and he was suspended for 15 games. How do you feel about the suspensions?
That Melo punch was, like, vicious. Is that the one we're talking about the same thing here, right?
Probably.
Where he just, I mean...
But it doesn't matter. I mean, punches were thrown, punches were landed. Brandon Ingram comes out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
To throw a cheap shot.
I don't know.
I think 4-3 in 2 games for Ingram, Rondo, and CP3, I think that's light work.
It might be, but I feel like 15 is also kind of harsh. So, we're talking about, Melo 9 years ago.
Considering a guy can come off the bench, just come off the bench and step onto the court of play during a scuffle and immediately be suspended for a game. I think 2 games for throwing punches that caused facial lacerations. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I know you're a fan of the let's throw it back. Let's go old school.
I'm a fan of just of moving on. Okay, you're gonna suspend the guys, make your point, make them sit out a few games. But
I think
why?
Is, where do you draw the line?
Right. Well,
if you're gonna be stiff, be stiff. If you're gonna be loose, then be loose. That's fine. But the thing with Adam Silver is I feel like he's been extremely loose since he's become the GM.
Yeah. I guess what you have to ask yourself is why let the actions of 1 or 2 guys determine your season maybe. I mean, 15 games would if we're talking about what Melo 9 years ago, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so if one of these guys were to be suspended that long, why let the actions of 1 or 2 guys hurt the entire team like that? At the same time, you can. There's arguments for both sides.
I definitely think they have to take into consideration if there are further incidents, then something needs to happen more. I mean, and I've been very vocal about this. I don't like Chris Paul. I think he's dirty. I don't think he was necessarily the one that instigated it. You can argue it whichever way you want it with Rondo spit. He was breathing heavy, so that's why he spit. I saw it come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. But Chris Paul, he definitely started the throwing of the punches.
For sure.
And he landed some good shots.
Yeah. Well, he landed that one too, which was super nice. But
he's got kids. You gotta look alive when you got kids. You ready? I'm just kidding. I didn't mean.
I know we're off subject here, but I guess what you also have to look at is there's some guys in this league who are definitely ready to throw hands. And if they're like, man,
they're looking for a situation,
right? And if they're like, man, if I'm only looking at 3 to 4 games,
well, then that's the thing.
I might take that.
I'm gonna, because here's the thing, Brandon Ingram, he's up for there's been a lot of talk around him as far as being potential most improved player, playing alongside LeBron, all that kind of thing. And that's nice.
100% picked him to be my most improved player.
That's great, but he was not the focus of that game. And he interjected himself and made him the focus of that game. So I feel like for some guys, it's kind of like, all right, we throwing hands. Let me get in on this. Let me get some attention. And I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but you feel me, right?
Yeah.
For a couple games, why not? Why not throw some punches? So
right.
I don't know. But we move on to the Sacramento game last night. One of my least favorite experiences inside of Chesapeake Energy Arena for a number of reasons. And I'm sure you can feel where I'm going with this.
For sure.
First off, let's just talk about the beginning of the game. Russell Westbrook comes down, dishes to a wide open Paul George, who hits a 3 to start the game. And I'm feeling
Best
good.
Possible thing that could have happened.
It looked awesome. I felt awesome. And that was one of the few leads that the Thunder had for the entire game. I thought Russell Westbrook played about as good of a game as you could have asked from him, considering he's missed. Didn't shoot well from the free throw line. Didn't shoot well from three-point. But overall, shot 56.5%, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, made a push for that triple-double, but didn't quite get it. Overall, I thought he looked good. Paul George, it was weird because he only shot 3 of 9 from 3, but he was 6 of 9 from 2. Overall, shot 55.6%. He was 100% from his free throws, had 6 rebounds, 3 steals. I thought he played well, finished with 29 points. Even though he was riding 5 fouls with like 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
Outside of that, didn't see a lot. I was really excited about my boy Hami. I've been talking about him for so long. As soon as he checked in the game, I was happy about that.
I was impressed.
He was 5 of 7. He didn't shoot any bad shots. Everything he got was like solid looks. Defensively, I didn't think he did too terribly either. And we'll get into where he should be in terms of rotations. So, what do you... As far as the guys that played, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I don't think that, like you said, Russ and Paul George played well. Paul George obviously could have shot better from beyond the arc, but he still finished above 55%, and we'll take that, especially, with some of the games that we saw last season.
For sure.
So, to say that your star players didn't show up would be wrong. Russ and Paul George were there. Adams didn't get enough looks, in my opinion. I don't know what the reasoning with that was. I don't know if it's because Schroeder took 16 shots.
A couple numbers I want to point out. Terrence Ferguson, who is a starter, went 1 for 7. Patrick Patterson, who is a starter, went 1 for 6. All 3-point attempts. Which, and let me preface with this. I'm not mad at him for shooting threes.
I did not realize that.
I'm not mad at him for shooting threes. I'm mad at him for missing wide open looks.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know we had the argument last week about who should start, he or Jeremy Grant. I'm still okay with him starting for about another 5 games or so. And if he doesn't start putting in some work, he needs to be yanked because he's not getting it done. Mm-hmm. I still like the guy. I still have confidence in him. If you go back and look last season in October, he shot like in the high 20s. He finished the season high 30s. He's a guy who kind of builds momentum as the season goes, and I'm okay with that. But we need something a little bit sooner than like end of the season.
Yeah.
Terrence Ferguson going 1 for 7, 0 for 3 from 3, and every single one of those was wide open. That can't happen. I mean, and we're going to get into talking rotations. I'm not happy with that at all. Jeremy Grant, 0 for 5 from 3. Why? Why is he shooting 5 threes?
Why is he shooting 3 of 12 overall?
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. He shouldn't only be getting to the free throw line twice. Listen, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. The way the game went was ugly. We had a dude. Okay, this is for our fans. Just a little quick personal story. This was the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And it was...
No. This was to start the fourth. everyone stands up to start the fourth, except for the people where we were.
Was it?
100%.
Not a lot of people were standing though. Admittedly, they initially, but then people kind of sat down. Let me tell you. Was it beginning of the fourth quarter?
I'm pretty sure it was the start of the fourth quarter.
We'll call it the start of the fourth. Everybody's up and standing, and then people kind of sit down. You and I continued standing because we're what I would like to call super fans. Is that fair?
That's fair.
That's fair. Okay, we're still standing.
Fair.
We're getting after it. We're excited, and we get almost assaulted. One of the hardest pokes in the back I've ever
felt
received.
it for like 5 minutes.
I felt it through the end of the game. And I don't know if it was just because I was mad and stewing in it or what, but it was not acceptable behavior. This old guy behind us has the audacity to poke us firmly in the back and tell us, if the people in front of you aren't standing up, you need to sit down. And so I comply because I'm not a total jerk. And I'm not about to try to give this old man a heart attack. But I was mad. And I looked at him and I go, you know what? I paid for a ticket just like you did. Which isn't true. Because somebody gave me the
these tickets for free.
And that's not the point, though. The point is, I've got a ticket to my seat. I have a right to stand up at an athletic event. Okay? Yesterday I said it was the first time in my life I've ever been told to sit down. I lied. This happened one other time at a Thunder game. I was up in the 300s and a guy almost punched me in the back, told me to sit down. And it didn't go, but maybe I was so mad. I didn't say anything to him, though. I was with my wife. I was respectful. I sat down, and I was so mad. I started building up in my mind what I was going to say to him at the end of the game. And not a few minutes passed. He taps me on the shoulder. He apologizes, and he says, if you want to stand up, go ahead. And after the game, he shook my hand. We won. So I don't know if we were just in good moods. He shook my hand, and we went on about, and I was happy about it because I felt like I did the right thing.
Right.
Last night, I've never wanted to hit somebody that was of that age so badly, probably in my entire life. Obviously, I didn't. I controlled myself because I'm, a mature human being. I was still irritated, though, because I feel like if you have a ticket to a sporting event, you have the right to your area.
Yeah.
If that means standing up, so be it. Now, if you're 8 foot tall and you got a little kid behind you, show some respect. But the point is, we were down at club level, and a lot of those people like to sit around and not participate in the game, and I was mad about it. And then after that, what happened a few minutes later, Craig? Go ahead and tell him.
He gets up and he leaves.
And he was gone. He was gone.
And the Thunder, at that point, had a chance to win this game.
Yes.
It wasn't,
So I blame the loss on this old dude that has the audacity to tell us to sit down and then bails a couple minutes later.
Listen, let me tell you my side of things. I have been asked to sit down at many OU football games, and I usually stand my ground, especially at OU football games, because where our season tickets are, that's a standing section. Everyone always stands over there. I used to sit in the student section all the time. They stand the whole game.
Right.
And there are certain sections in the stadium where people like to sit. And so I stand, and if someone is polite about it, I take it into consideration. I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe I do need to sit down. And if this guy would have said, hey, I'm old, I've been coming to these games for a while now, I can't stand like I used to, I would have been like, all right.
Had he even said, excuse me,
right,
gentlemen.
But to just, dig into my shoulder,
oh my gosh,
made me mad. But also, I didn't feel like we were just standing to stand. It was an important part of the game.
Yes.
People were cheering.
Yes.
It was a clutch situation. So it's not like we were
100%.
just standing in the middle of the second quarter or something when nothing's going on.
Down by 30 or
right,
by 30 or whatever.
So that's my thing is if you, number one, ask politely, I'm probably going to say yes. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. And number two, I'm not just standing for no reason. I'm standing because, it's a clutch moment.
Well,
I'm cheering for my team.
And that's the thing.
And that's it.
I don't feel like we stand just to stand. I'm not like an avid stander.
At that point, I was ready just to stand for the rest of the game.
I'm 30 years old. If someone offers me a seat, I'm probably going to take it. I'm a tired dude, okay? I got 3 kids, a 4th one on the way. I'm exhausted a lot. But as soon as he did that, man, I wanted to stand up on my seat in his way. But I didn't.
I'll stand if I want to stand, and if he wants to catch these hands, then we're going to be sitting there in the future.
I do want to say,
and I wonder if he's going to be there too.
I have thought the same thing because I guarantee you these same tickets are going to come up, and if that guy is, I'm going to give him a little wink, and I'm going to stand a little bit longer than I should.
Same.
Okay.
I hope those are his season tickets, so we get to bug him all year long.
I will say a shout out to our followers because as soon as I said something about this guy and telling us to sit down, we had several people like, "Hey, I'm in section."
They were ready to go to war.
Let me fight this guy for you. I was like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. We're not trying to listen. I wasn't trying to get kicked out of the game. I wasn't even trying to give him more than a couple seconds worth of my breath. Right. Because I was trying to focus on what was happening.
That's my thing, is because they don't kick you out for one game. Like, you're done for the foreseeable future.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not ended up on like a Thunder's Most Wanted poster. It's not happening.
I'll talk my talk, but I'm not, I'll defend myself.
Swing first.
Nah, yeah, exactly, right. Like, do something. Like, I'm not going to start anything, but...
Anyways. It was a frustrating night for us.
It, made the loss worse, knowing that happened.
Listen, I was already irritated, and I think that's what made even more irritated. And then we lost, and it was like, where's Grandpa at? It's about to go down. I never actually do that, but I was furious. I was not happy. Mostly because in my mind, I don't think I would ever do that to somebody.
No, I would just stand up.
Listen, we had to get up and move out of the way, and people were cutting in front of us and moving down the row so many times, and that was irritating me. But even then, I didn't feel the nerve to actually say something, because I have manners.
Right.
This guy was, furious.
I like to stand at games. Half the time that we watch in our own homes, we stand up to watch the games.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm almost looking for the people in front of me to stand up, so I have an excuse to stand. No problem for me, but I guess if...
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Buy courtside seats.
Or watch from your home.
Or that. Whatever it is. Take your choice. Don't you dare come at me like that. Like I'm not allowed to stand up.
I bet this guy doesn't put the shirts on either when they hand them out.
He's probably that guy.
Okay. Anyways.
It's neither here nor there. We need to move on. Okay? 0-3, worst start in Thunder history. What's to blame? We have so many... Listen, for our fans who don't see our notes here, which none of you do because we don't let you, because otherwise you'd know what all we're ready to talk about. Yeah, no peeksies. Okay? We have a list of things that are to blame for the Thunder's start right now. And so let's just kind of run through these. Okay? First off, the defense. I thought it looked good against Golden State and Oakland on Tuesday. Obviously, Friday... I felt like they got the Clippers got whatever they wanted. Last night, the Kings, it felt like they were hitting just about everything. Now, I want to give them a little bit of props because I feel like they've got a young, talented squad. But they shot 55% from the field and 45.5% from three, which is just unreal. Listen, we shot literally almost twice as many threes as they did, and they made one more than we did. It's unacceptable.
Yeah,
Whose fault is it on defense, I guess, is the question. Is it?
I think it's a team effort.
It is. I was going to say the same thing. You go ahead.
No, it wasn't like what we've seen before where people are just out of position, guys getting mixed up on switches. Right. It was just too many easy drives to the basket. You know what I mean? Yeah. How about some help defense instead of giving these young guys some easy ones? I watched Buddy Hield take Steven Adams to the basket. Buddy Hield is obviously a quicker guy than Steven Adams, but someone should be there. You know what I mean? That shouldn't happen.
What about
First of all, that matchup shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But secondly, someone else has got to be there.
Speaking of Buddy Hield, that second three that he had, stood wide open for what felt like an eternity. Like I was thinking, has it been 24 seconds yet? Has the shot clock violation buzzer not gone off? And then he drains a wide open three, and I'm thinking, so let me get this straight. The dude catches a wide open pass. Everybody recognizes, hey, that's a shooter. He's going to shoot it anyway. Might as well let him at this point. And he took his sweet time.
It's impossible as a team to come out and play excellent defense for 82 games as a season. That's why you appreciate guys like Andre Robertson in this league who can do that. Because, that when no one else is going to do it, you need at least one person. Yeah. And so I almost expected it against the Clippers after the defensive performance against Golden State, but last night was unexcusable in my opinion. Too many easy looks, wide open shots,
and just complete breakdowns.
Right.
Rotations looked awful at times. It seemed like, I mean, if you compare spacing, we start getting into some deeper, looking from a coach's perspective. If you look at spacing, the Kings, it wasn't even that they were running immaculate plays. It was that they were just able to get it to the open guy, and the Thunder's defense was so clogged and clustered at times. And then you go to the other end of the floor, and the Thunder offense, There was no real ball movement. Even when they tried to run plays, it looked sloppy.
That's Thunder
Guys
basketball.
looked like they were running into each other.
Established in 2008, baby.
Oh,
Same
man.
thing. Nothing's
Fix
changed.
it, man. It
Nothing's
needs fixed.
changed.
What about free throw percent? Listen, I had hope in the preseason that we were going to turn things around. Here's where we're at so far. First game, 65%. Second game, not too shabby, 74%. And last night was 63%. That's not going to cut it.
First of all, I think as a team, the Thunder need to be getting to the line more often.
Mm-hmm.
They're not shooting enough free throws. I will say.
Against Golden State, got there 37 times.
Oh
30
yeah,
times last night.
So I guess that one is about missed free throws. But
considering, I will agree with you. Considering the fact that NBA officials are calling fouls like they never have before, we should be living at the line,
right?
Because we shouldn't be shooting as many threes as we are. But go ahead.
Like you said, I think Jeremy Grant should be getting more than 2 free throws per game.
Yeah.
But as far as Russell Westbrook goes, I'm not giving up. I know you had a bold. Was it about him specifically, or was it the team?
It was the team, but it was primarily because of him.
I'm not giving up on Russ's free throws yet. He was tired last night.
He was.
I mean, every single time there was a whistle blown, he was hands on his knees, bending over, and I think that contributes to his 5 of 11. I mean, if you've got no legs at the free throw line.
Right.
It since you're in elementary, it starts with, bend your knees at the free throw line. So that doesn't change as you get older. And so I think he is going to improve as he gets more into shape. But as a team, I think you need to get there more often, more consistently, and obviously we need to be making them. I mean, you get paid millions of dollars to shoot a basketball.
I'm with you.
Make it.
Here's what I'm looking at. We got 2 dudes. Ultimately, they're the reason why we didn't shoot well from the free throw line. Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams. Adams isn't a great shooter. Westbrook, his first game back, I get it. That's going to happen. But when it comes down to it, you go to opening night. Paul George was 5 for 8. He can't do that.
Yeah.
Adams was 5 for 8. I'll take that for him. But other dudes like Jeremy Grant going 2 for 4. He's that guy that he's shooting like 50%. We just need more out of him.
If you look at championship teams, they all shoot well from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Even when the Thunder were making finals, they made a finals appearance. They were in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they were shooting high 70s, low 80s for the season. Kevin Durant was not missing.
He was carrying.
He was in the 90s. Yeah, and Thunder have to find a guy who can.
And the thing is, Westbrook has been one of those solid free throw shooters until last year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but he's got to fix that because we know he's gonna be getting to the free throw line almost double digits every single time. Last season he averaged a little bit under 9 free throw attempts I think per game, and he's one of those guys. Listen, James Harden is automatic from the free throw line. He's a dude that's gonna shoot high 80s, low 90s. Russell Westbrook has to be that guy as often as he gets there. Otherwise, the Thunder are gonna struggle. Listen, those are free points.
Right.
They call it the charity stripe for a reason. We got to be able to hit from there.
I just realized that. Let's see, 6. Lost by 11, missed 11 free throws.
I mean, you're not going to shoot 100%.
And to make, to make all of them is unrealistic.
But still,
it's
why not?
It's something to
why
think
not
about.
Make them all?
Yeah.
Why not be perfect? I know it sounds ridiculous, but okay. Moving on to really a very realistic reason why the Thunder are struggling. Why are we shooting so many threes? Against Golden State, 37 attempts, only made 10. Against Los Angeles Clippers, 33%, only made 7. Against the Kings last night, 39 attempts and only made 9 of them. This is ridiculous. It's got to listen. I don't care what the trend is in the NBA. I don't care what the Warriors and what the Rockets and what anybody else is doing from behind the 3-point line. It's got to stop. Because the Thunder are not a 3-point shooting team. Listen, the Pelicans the other night, they were blasted. They've had several solid wins. Let me. Who did they beat in their home opener?
Houston?
No, that wasn't the home opener, was it? Or was it?
It was our season opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Season opener. What? Not home opener. Season opener was against the Rockets, and they destroyed them. They're not a 3-point shooting team. I'll have to go. I mean, I'm saying all this. I don't even know off the top of my head.
Can you back this up? Let's see. Time will tell.
Let's look at the box score really quick. They had 3 bigs score at least 25 points, and I guarantee you they're not out there shooting threes. Okay? My point is, I get that the league nowadays is about shooting threes, but that doesn't mean you have to conform to that. I've said this all of last season, and I'm going to keep saying it. Stop being a repeater and start being an innovator. Come up with the next big thing, whatever that looks like. They shot. Let me look at the numbers right here. 3-point. Okay. 10 of 25 from 3. That's solid. 25 attempts. That's not too many. Making 10. That's good. Whatever. But you can't be shooting 30-plus attempts per game and not getting into at least the double digits.
Right.
The Thunder are not a good 3-point team. It's awful right now. It's embarrassing. And I'm looking at guys like Russell Westbrook. He's not a super great 3-point shooter, but he's good enough. Paul George should be one of the league leaders. Dennis Schroeder should be decent, but he's really not. I've got guys like Alex Abrinas, who's not hitting wide open ones. Patrick Patterson's not hitting wide open ones. Jeremy Grant, for the love, make a single. Listen, every 3-point attempt that. Yes, he had so many wide open looks.
My grandma's calling me.
Oh, man, I feel bad.
It's okay.
But here's what I'm looking at. The Thunder are 8th in the league in 3-point attempts so far. Guess where they stand percentage-wise?
Dead last.
Dead last. Behind the Los Angeles Lakers, who were dead last season in attempts per game. Okay? It's ridiculous. You cannot be a top 10 attempt team and be dead last in 3-point percentage.
I feel
The only reason you should shoot that many is if you can make a bunch of them. It's embarrassing, and it's got to stop. I'm done with it. I'm done, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them not... Listen, and the thing is, they're not... Do you think they're bad looks?
No.
They're not bad looks.
Shots.
Just make your shots. Patrick Patterson should never go 1 for 6. You know where a lot of those threes came from? Top of the key. You know where he's good at making threes?
From the corner.
From the corner. Get to the corner and take the shots that you can make. Stop taking shots. Listen, if a team is going to give them to you over and over and over and over again, there's probably a reason.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that they can't make them.
Yeah.
I'm mad right now.
I can
man.
tell.
Okay.
Keep going.
One more
Roll
thing.
with it.
One more issue that we need to discuss right here. Rotation choices. Who decides who's on the court?
Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan. Okay? Here's some problems that I have. Terrence Ferguson. Why is the dude starting? Listen, let's try to be fair and be rational. I'm super irrational right now. I'm fired up. I want to throw a chair out into my backyard, not because of any reason, but just because I'm getting fired up. Realistically, why is Terrence Ferguson starting for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Because Andre Robertson is injured. Why is Terrence Ferguson the starter at shooting guard? Let's think logically. What is Billy Donovan?
I was thinking about this last night, actually, during the game.
Okay.
Ideally, I think it's because there's already enough, hypothetically, there's enough scoring already involved in this offense. And so having a guy like Terrence Ferguson in the game isn't going to be a big deal. Again, hypothetically, he's athletic. He has potential. He could fit in well with guys who are more experienced, like, Steven Adams, Paul George, Russell Westbrook. But realistically, it's not working out. 1 of 7 is not good enough to be in a starting rotation. Are you ready to be even
more angry than just last night? On the season, he is shooting 13.3% from the field.
Yeah. Not good.
On the season, he is shooting 9% from 3. Can somebody say I miss Andre Robertson?
No, I
shooting corner threes?
Right. Like, who would have thought
this
that would ever happen?
This is ridiculous. What does he bring to the court? Terrence Ferguson is not a defensive stopper. And he's obviously not doing anything on offense. It's ridiculous that he's still getting 21 minutes per game, that he's starting the game with the group of guys that we've got on the court. Listen, the Thunder has the opportunity to be one of the most athletic teams. And listen, not one of the best teams. I think they can be, but by far one of the most athletic teams in the league. Terrence Ferguson is a crazy athletic freak, but he's about 20 pounds too shy to be matching up with NBA starters.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't really like the guy, right?
No.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I like Terrence Ferguson. I like him. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Dislike guys who don't play well.
And that's fair. I like the guy. You know how I am. I get stuck on players.
There's nothing with him personally. It's just
That's
he's
fair.
not good at basketball.
But you know how I am.
I mean, he is good at basketball. I shouldn't have said that.
I get stuck on players. I'm stuck on Terrence Ferguson. I like the guy. He shouldn't be starting. He should be.
I think we all agree that Hami should be starting.
Listen, Hamidou Diallo, I've got the biggest basketball crush on the guy right now. He's pushing into probably top 5 favorite Thunder player right now. Active players, not all time. Active players, all time. We will see.
All time.
Listen,
Kevin Durant. I'm just kidding. That was.
Listen, he was when he was here. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm still bitter, but my point is, I love Hami. You saw how excited I was when he came into the game. He played so well last night. He was given an opportunity, and I felt like he ran with it. He went 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. I can take that. Didn't get to the free throw line. No big deal. He didn't contribute a lot outside of that. Only 2 assists, a rebound. He had 2 steals. Listen, he did what I felt like what was expected out of him. Okay? He did what was necessary. He made baskets in transition. We didn't get that out of Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
He did the little things.
Mm-hmm.
He dove on the ground. He saved the ball whenever he needed to. He did the little things. That's what I want from a rookie who's trying to fight for playing time. Listen, Hami played 21 minutes and 5 seconds. Terrence Ferguson played 19 minutes and 3 seconds. I don't know if that's a shift that's starting to move. Listen, enough with the let's try to balance out the bench and the starters. Start with your best guys and call it clean. I'm done with listen, I've been the major proponent of let's leave some solid players on the bench and let them come off so there can be leaders there. Nah, man, forget that. I'm done with that. Put your best 5 on the court, run the score up, and pray to God that your bench can hold on to it. Why not?
You got to try something different at this point.
Are the Warriors very deep right now?
No.
They've got Sean Livingston. The dude averages like 7 points a game.
Yeah, but he'll score 20.
What's he do against the Thunder?
Yeah.
He piles it on. You know why? Because he's ready to play at any given moment. When you've got a guy like Terrence Ferguson, make him ride the bench. As soon as he gets a moment to shine, maybe he comes in and he starts doing things that are right. But I'm tired of the guy getting to play with the starters and not doing a dang thing. It's a waste of my time. Why am I even watching this garbage?
You're preaching to the choir, man.
I'm so irritated with it. I'm so mad. He shouldn't be out there. And don't even get me started on Patrick Patterson. You know I love the guy.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he came in, I said he's going to be the starter. Carmelo Anthony came in, whatever. It blew that idea up. Okay? I lost a bet to you. It's okay. I'm over it. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. Okay? I think he should be the starter because I think the fact that he's a veteran and he understands the game, I think he's better in that aspect than Jeremy Grant. But if he can't hit a wide open shot, get the dude off the court. I'm done with dudes having wide open looks and not making shots. You have one job. 2 jobs. His job is to play defense, be a consistent defender, and hit wide open shots. We don't need anything fancy. We've got Russell Westbrook. The dude is fancy. Have you seen the guy? The way he dresses? It doesn't matter what he wears. He makes it look good. He could put on a garbage bag, which I'm pretty sure he's worn something very similar to a garbage bag, and he's made it look good. He can do all the fancy stuff. Paul George can knock down shots. He can be fancy. Steven Adams, he's got the little captain hook shot. He's got the alley-oops, whatever. He can be fancy. Patrick Patterson, just make a wide open 3 and let me love you. Just let me love you, man. That's all I want.
Just let me love you.
Just let me love you.
Isn't that an Usher song?
Is that a Bieber song? Maybe.
No,
maybe
Usher.
you're right.
I think it's Usher.
I think you're right. No, it's Mario.
Same thing.
No! DJ Snake featuring Justin Bieber. I was right.
No, that's a different song, though.
No, it's called Let Me Love You, though.
Yeah, but this is songs like Let Me Love You Until You Learn to Love Yourself.
That's
okay,
Mario.
okay.
Okay, that's Mario.
But let's be
I'm
honest,
just saying,
Mario and Usher are the same person. Musically.
I'm not even going to get into that argument because Usher's way better. But anyways, you get my point. If you can't see, we've got a lot of issues.
Way better.
So, it's about that time. All right, Thunder fans, we are back talking more Thunder things. I'm Zach.
I'm Craig.
And if you did not realize, we are the Thunder guys. Didn't mean to make that rhyme. That's all I got. But anyways, give us a follow on Twitter or Instagram or like us on Facebook or check us out on YouTube. We're trying to get that rolling a little bit. At the Thunder Guys, the YouTubes. At the Thunder Guys, we are doing big things, trying to make some splash, make some waves. You know, just doing our thing, talking Thunder. Like that shirt, Craig.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Much appreciate.
But anyways, we've still got a little bit more to talk about before our hour of time is up. Our hour. That's kind of hard to say.
Hour.
Why am I saying what? What's weird? A good movie, Hot Rod. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into our point counterpoint. I feel like we need some theme music for this. I need something that's like a minute and a half long. Let me see if I got anything going on over here. Do we want to go chill, or do we want to go like something heavy?
Definitely chill.
All right.
We need a soundboard, man.
We do. Superstore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember your top 5 music from last season?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna roll with that. All right. So, coming up next is our point counterpoint portion of the evening. And for those of you that do not know, this part of the evening is brought to you by Zack and Craig's ability to argue about anything. What we do is we take a specific topic and we argue it because, let's be honest, a heavy portion of our friendship is built upon the ability to argue. So, this week's topic, we are arguing whether or not, I can't even remember, not whether or not, we are arguing what is...
Not even close.
All right, we got to fit this into a short amount of time. So are you ready? I'm going to get the music going. All right, we're chilling. Okay, I'm going to give you 45 seconds. This week's topic, what is the Thunder's issue what is the Thunder's biggest issue right now? Ready, set, go.
For me, the biggest issue right now is getting healthy. Obviously, the big one is Andre Robertson at this point, which leads into some, overall defense and chemistry problems. I think if you have a healthy Andre Robertson, other guys are, more capable of focusing on their specific roles instead of filling in for him not being there. I also think that Russell Westbrook, while he's good to play, he's not 100% ready yet. And we talked about already him bending over, being on his knees every single time. He was winded. He was walking back on defense. And I just think having this team healthy, in shape, ready to go, it's going to go even further than just getting Andre back, because he's just like Russell Westbrook, he's going to have to get into game shape too. And overall, just a healthy Thunder team is better than this 0-3 start.
Nice.
Sorry.
In there. No, you're good.
Sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and go quickly. I'm going to have to go a little bit deeper and say it's the defense. Now, I agree with you on the healthy stuff, and I kind of hate that our points are so closely related. But here's the thing. With the Thunder, they don't have the ability to set up a half-court offense regularly and do good things. They have to do well on defense in order to create transition situations, whether it's legitimate fast break or whether it's just moving and getting back before the defense has the full ability to set up. So I'm going to say the defense. As soon as the defense begins to get stops, the Thunder's offense begins to flow well and score points. And last night, specifically, Oklahoma City struggled to get stops on defense. They were not able to do what they needed to do on offense because of that. And as soon as the defense can lock in and get stops, then we'll be good. So,
look at you. Sure. I will say, as much as we're supposed to argue on this, I think our points kind of go hand in hand. If we're healthy, the defense is better.
I agree.
And, so it's hand in hand.
I guess here's my thing, and we're past our technical point counterpoint time, so we can make this flourish a little bit and spread it out. Here's my thing. I don't care who's healthy. I don't care who's playing. The defense needs to be at its best, whatever that looks like. Russell Westbrook can't afford to take plays off. Paul George, I feel like he's making too many mistakes. He's not making plays like he should be playing. To me, Paul George is a first-team All-NBA defensive guy. He needs to play like it. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at other dudes like Jeremy Grant. Where's he at? I do want to give a huge shout-out to Nerlens Noel. We haven't talked about him really at all. He looked good last night. Yeah. He made some plays on defense. He was able to score on offense. Didn't do a whole lot because he fouled out, and that was disappointing. But overall, I feel like he's looked good in his role so far. But I'm with you, though. We need to get healthy, but whoever's on the court, play good defense.
I guess what's frustrating is that defense it's all about effort.
Usually it is.
You have a couple guys who I won't mention by name that just aren't capable of playing defense. Like they're just not,
they ain't
built
for it, bro.
But besides that, I mean, if you look at guys like Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Steven Adams, those guys have no excuse for not playing defense. It's just effort, and you have to dig deep sometimes and get to that level of effort to pull out games. And until that happens, you're going to keep seeing the same things from the Thunder.
Yeah. Overall, I'm frustrated because I feel like a lot of it's effort, like you're saying. When it comes down to rotations, when it comes down to job responsibilities, suck it up, get the job done. Listen, if the defense gets stops, the offense eats. That's all there is to it. Get stops, get points. Game over. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what your job is. If the defense can get a stop, the offense is going to score.
Defense always leads the offense.
It does. And I feel like that is the number one, should be the number one focus of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen, I am far more into rewarding a guy who plays tough defense than I am just giving it up to anybody who does anything. I'm irritated because I feel like a lot of guys come onto the court and they can just kind of feel like they deserve an opportunity. Nah, fam. Play defense, then you get your looks. And I guess we can go ahead and call it good there. Our next topic, before we get into our weekly forecast, the next games, the next few games for the week. This is one that's been kind of hot on Twitter. First off, should Billy Donovan be fired? Right now, Thunder fans are irritated and they're saying yeah. But realistic, let's be realistic. Let's be slightly rational here. Try to be. How many games, how long does Billy Donovan get to make adjustments? How long does he get to fix issues before he's gone?
I guess it's one of those things where how poorly does the Thunder perform over the next week or two?
That's
because
fair.
if they don't win more than 1 or 2 games within the next 10, he's done immediately, in my opinion.
Should be.
But it still reaches a point where if it gets to 15 games, which is where I think it should be, and the Thunder aren't playing to where the level that they should be, that's when it comes into question. However, I will say, in defense of Billy Donovan, he can't make Russell Westbrook make free throws. He can't make Paul George and Patrick Patterson knock down shots from beyond the arc. That's not his fault that these guys are missing looks.
Yep.
His job is to get them into positions to have opportunities, and the Thunder have had opportunities. And to say that he's not doing that is wrong because we talked about it specifically during the game. There was a moment where he pulled aside a player, talked to him about messing up a play on offense. So we know that there's things being done on the offense to create looks. Right. These guys just aren't making the shots. So, of course, unfortunately, it always comes down to the coach. He's the scapegoat. If something needs to happen, or if someone needs to be blamed, it's going to be the head coach. So, I guess my answer is about 15 games, 10 to 15. 20 seems too much at that point. It's like, I feel like we reached the point of last season where it's like, okay, you've waited too long now. You can't really fire a guy this late into the season. But, I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at the schedule, and to get to a total of 15 games, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? Yeah, I'm counting four teams over the next 13 that are predicted as playoff teams. Mm-hmm. Okay? So even if we lost all 4 of those games, that would put us at 8-7. At the bare minimum, if the Thunder is not 8-7 at 15 games, I think we have to seriously considering giving him the boot.
It's tough because I always hate to cheer for a guy to lose his job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But sometimes changes are needed. Yes. Often. Maybe a new voice in the locker room would go a long way. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe someone needs to just sit these guys down, talk to them differently than the way Billy Donovan's doing it. I don't know. It's tough. And you're looking at the 4 playoff teams that we're playing.
And by the way, let me go and throw them out here. It's Boston, Washington, New Orleans, and Houston.
I was going to go on to say that a lot of those teams that are non-playoff teams we would have probably picked the Thunder to win those games. But at the same time, we definitely took the Thunder to beat the Clippers in Sacramento.
Yes.
So at this point, who knows?
Right.
I wouldn't say that anybody else is a safe win at this point. You know what I mean?
My whole deal is if we have a losing record at the 15-game mark, he's got to be gone. Listen, and you know that's not me. You know I've been a major proponent of consistency, keep the coach around. You can't blame everything on him. I agree with what you're saying. He can't make players make shots, but at the same time, why are the Thunder shooting 30-plus threes every single game? Mm-hmm. Is he telling them that's okay? Because he shouldn't be. If he is, he needs to be gone. If they're doing it anyway, even though he's saying don't, then he should be gone. So I don't know.
I'm not even sure that you and I agree on the whole. This is going to be way out of left field for a second, but I'll promise it'll make sense in the end. I know we probably don't agree on the whole James Harden situation, but I feel like the Scott Brooks firing is going to be looked at very much the same as the James Harden situation. As if we could go back and do it over again an organization, mm-hmm. Right? And you learn the hard way sometimes that the grass isn't always greener. And
listen,
look what Scott Brooks has done with Washington. You know what I mean?
I think you look a little bit brighter about Washington than I do. But
I don't think they make the playoffs like they have been without Scott Brooks.
The Wizards?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a solid guard lineup. I'd say it's only second to Portland as far as point guard, shooting guard goes. I don't know. Maybe Golden State.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll agree to disagree there. Looking ahead to the weekly forecast, only 2 games from now until next Sunday. Oklahoma City, little homestand here. Host the Celtics on Thursday, 7 o'clock tip-off there, and host the Phoenix Suns on Sunday. I believe that's another 6 o'clock tip-off. Let's take a look here. Yeah, another 6 o'clock. I'm thinking worst-case scenario, 1-1. I don't feel good about Boston right now at all. I don't know about you. Got to beat the Suns at home on Sunday. If you don't,
I'm actually thinking best case scenario 1-1.
Really?
So I don't
chalking
think
up Thursday as a loss.
I think we lose Thursday. I think the Thunder are going to be 0-4. And then hopefully you get a win against Phoenix. I'll tell you what, if the Thunder lose both of these games, now I'm talking about Scott Brooks. Billy Donovan is in risk of losing his job that early. I mean, 0-5 is inexcusable. The guy's got to be on the hot seat. I know we kind of already moved on from that topic, but I don't see at this point the Thunder beating Boston. Talent-wise,
let me throw some.
They should beat Phoenix.
Let me throw some things at you here for Boston. Smacked Philadelphia on opening night. Mm-hmm. Lost to the Raptors by 12 3 days later. Beat the Knicks by 2. And there were some controversial last 2-minute calls in there on Saturday. There's 3 minutes left in the first quarter. They're currently down by 12 against the Orlando Magic.
Right. No,
listen, I think we got a chance on Thursday for sure.
There's always a chance. This
always
is the NBA.
Russell Westbrook, that's all I need. Give me Russell Westbrook, give me a chance. That's all I got to say. I don't feel good about the game, but I'm going to hope for a win. I actually have parent-teacher conferences, so I'm going to miss almost all of it. That's teacher life for you. I'm probably going to miss nearly the whole game. I believe our boy Trent is going to be doing the recap for us. Are you working? Thursday night?
I don't know.
Either way,
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead of my week yet.
Even if you are, you're probably going to get to catch at least some of it. I'm not going to catch much of it.
Right.
I'm going to have it on my laptop. Attention parents, if you're meeting with me, the game's going to be on in the background. I will give you my full attention when you're in the room, but in between parents, in between conferences, I will definitely be checking in.
Watching games at work is usually never the issue. It's having time to, analyze them and do a recap. That's hard. I can usually catch the majority.
I hear you.
That doesn't mean I'm,
just focused on overall. That's fair. Either way, I'm hoping for a win there. I am going to say 1-1 just because I feel like that's safe. If we go 0-2, I'm not going to go wild and say fire Billy Donovan, but I'm going to say
I wouldn't be
Billy
surprised
Donovan.
if it happened at all.
I might be just because I feel like Sam Presti is almost too loyal at this point. Either way, listen, changes have to be made. They need to be made now. We don't have time to waste losing games. We're losing ground. Win a game. Give me one.
Yeah.
Okay.
As negative as the show has been, neither one of us feel like the season is
Not at
out
all.
the window already.
Not at
I
all.
still, everything I picked preseason, I still feel like this team is capable of and can achieve that. But that doesn't mean that changes can't happen or don't need to happen.
100% with you. I'm right there with you. So
don't get us wrong. We're not saying blow it up yet or anything like that. But
we're not bailing on the Thunder yet. We don't do that, and you won't catch us doing that. But either way, thanks for tuning in for Thunder Things. I'm Zach.
I'm Craig.
We are the Thunder Guys. Give us a follow at the Thunder Guys on Twitter, Instagram. Give us a like on Facebook, whatever it is. Listen, you don't have to be watching the show to throw some commentary. Let us know what you think. We love to chat with fans, whether it be in agreement or disagreement. Doesn't really make me any difference. I know I'm right, so that's where I stand with that. But anyways, give us some shout outs. Let us know what you think. Until next week, we will be back with another episode every Monday night, 6 o'clock, here on the airwaves, on your Crossover Radio app, on Facebook Live. You can catch us after the fact on YouTube. Whatever it is, we don't really care. We just love to hear from you guys. So, with that being said, Thursday night coming at you. Another chance for the Thunder to pick up the first win of the season. We love these guys. We hope you do too. And we hope you guys are ready to thunder up. You guys have a good one.